All right, welcome back to Gilmore Geeks. My name is Aaron.
My name is Vicki.
And it's Silvana.
Woo! All right, welcome back to the program. Today is Cinnamon's Wake, episode 5. But our opener question, we'll do, Vicki had her suggestion for what we should do. So Vicki, what is your opener that you suggested for us?
Have you ever experienced a pet funeral?
Okay. Who wants to go first?
I guess I can start.
Okay.
So it was a
Start off with the story.
So I was in 5th grade, and there was a hamster that died in our class. And I remember we had this a really big playground, but we had this area where it was just trees. And we went back there, and they actually dug a hole. They made a little shoebox for the hamster. And as a class, we gathered around, and I remember them lowering the shoebox into the thing. And at the time, I don't know if any of you guys experienced the DARE program or if you heard of it.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Well, at least one of our DARE representatives, if not both, were actually at the funeral.
Oh.
So I thought that was really sweet of them.
Sorry your hamster died, and don't do drugs.
Right.
It showed they cared for,
Yeah.
their pet.
Silvana, did you have a pet funeral story?
To be honest, I've had so many pet funerals that I'm struggling to figure out which one to tell. My childhood home probably had 6 or 7. We had a small pet graveyard in the back
Okay.
yard. Not that anybody would know now, but
Right.
we had a dog back there. We had 6 fish buried. We had 2 different birds buried. So we had a whole little graveyard. A lot of them had little stepping stones, but I'll tell the one about we had a bird, a little parakeet named Sunny,
Okay.
and we were walking him over to my neighbor's house for her to watch him while we were going on vacation. And my one of my sisters, Olivia, accidentally opened the birdcage door, and Sunny flew away. And
Oh.
while we were gone, our neighbors bought us a new yellow parakeet and made it seem like he came back. He then, maybe 2 years later, killed himself in his cage.
Okay.
Oh, no.
And so we had a whole funeral for little Sunny in the backyard. Got him a shoebox,
Okay.
just like the hamster. He got a little stepping stone, and we sang "You Are My Sunshine" to him over and
Oh.
over and over again.
At what point did you find out that it was not the original?
Oh my gosh. Several years later, we were at a Catholic summer church camp, and one of my other neighbors was mad at us for some reason. Who knows,
Oh.
little kids. And she was like, "Well, just so you know, that wasn't Sunny. He never came back."
This is a Gilmore Girls episode by itself.
Right.
Yeah,
Quite a story.
And our mom had to pick us up because we were sobbing because we were like, "What happened to the real Sunny?
I can
Yeah.
just
Did he
imagine
just
being a teacher in
die
the
in the
classroom
woods?"
and just being
Yeah.
talking to me like, you were in so much trouble with me. You don't do
Oh,
that
yeah.
to somebody. Oh, because
Mhm.
kids and
Yeah.
kids and their pets, they get really attached.
Oh yeah. It was traumatizing then, but now it's just funny.
Okay. Sorry, I'm adjusting my level of my headphones.
Yeah, that was adjusting mine, for the record.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but it's not a bad adjustment. I'm just saying I felt it in my ears.
Oh, there we go. That's what I needed to do. Okay, I think that's better. Welcome to Behind the Scenes on Gilmore Geeks, the show
It's
name,
the week
the
before
show name that I
New
can't
Year's, we're
remember
all
apparently
confused.
when we do this. I don't. The dog that we had, I never. My parents had him put down when I was out away in the Philippines, because he had just gotten too old, and it was really rough. His memory was gone. He was not doing well. So yeah, it sucked. But it kind of I had moved out
Yeah.
for some time.
See, with both our dogs, or with the 2 main dogs I remember growing up, I was either out of the country, or there was one where I was about to get married and I wasn't home when either dog passed away. So I don't
Yeah.
know if there was a funeral. If it was, I missed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Aw.
So there you go. So
My sisters and I used to get fishes and then name them after ourselves.
Uh.
And so then every time they died, my mother would have to get a new one. And eventually we just weren't allowed to have fish anymore because she was really tired of replacing Stefania,
We've had
Angelica, and
6
Olivia, and
Silvanas
Silvana
already.
over and over and over again.
She's
Yeah.
like, I'm tired of going to the fish store and having to buy your replacements.
We had
Yep.
fish for a short period. They didn't live very long.
We never had fish.
I never do.
Yeah,
It's
never
not
did.
worth it.
Yep.
Didn't miss much.
Okay, well, when we come back from the intro, it is episode 5, Cinnamon's Wake, and we'll be doing some deep dives and conversations about this one and all the fun that is entailed here on Gilmore Geeks. We'll be right back after this. All right, welcome back to Gilmore Geeks. My name is Aaron.
My name is Vicki.
Silvana.
All right, so we're back in the land of Gilmore. It's episode 5, so we've made it, into the 5th episode. So we feel like we're getting somewhere with everything. And we open up with a revisiting to dinner. We're back at dinner with Emily Gilmore, but
I love this scene with her.
there is no Richard Gilmore. Richard is out of town. He is somewhere in the world, Germany, which leads to the conversation of, do we know any Nazis? Which
this joke is amazing.
it's just nonsensical. And then the argument about Claudia, who has died, who is his I can't remember the connection, but it's,
So I was looking at I have it written down. It's the grandpa's sister's daughter.
okay.
So I was thinking about my own family with the connection. So like with my grandmother, she had sisters who lived to be like 100.
Yeah.
They lived pretty old. And I was like, okay, so it would be like if they had
Like a second cousin?
or like if they had a daughter. And I actually think we have a living cousin who has that connection, but I can't remember if it's a
Right.
second cousin. But it says it's Claudia and Lorelai's they would be first cousins once removed, and Richard's first cousin.
Yeah. So not somebody that you probably went to
Oh.
your reunions with or whatever. But Emily, because Emily is like proper, like, oh, we have to go to the funeral because it's a family member and it's important. She's like, you'll have to go. You must go. And Lorelai's like,
I don't even remember her. Have we met?
yeah. Oh, we went once when this was happening. And she's like, I have no memory of this. This woman is not important to me. I'm not doing it. Like, no. And then,
Good for her.
and then Emily, like, she can be mean, but when she gets into mode, so she says, oh, well, we did have we knew a Nazi. And I was like,
This
what?
is such a well-delivered
And
joke.
she goes through this whole thing of like, oh yeah, here's the name. This is what we used to do. And
Really interesting stories.
Yeah. Lorelai is like, what? And she's like, oh, that was just a joke.
Oh no, but she says it. She was in a very condescending kind
Yeah.
of way, like, "Honey, that was a joke, and
and-
this is how you tell."
No,
it."
dear, that was a joke.
I
That's right.
applauded her. I was like, "Oh, that was good."
I had to look up what a Philco was though when they were talking about seeing the first moon landing. It's like
Oh,
an
yeah.
old school TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
So
not even a person.
yeah. So there's like,
No, it's an old school TV.
yeah. So so a lot of the pop culture references in this show, because obviously we're looking through the lens of 2025. There's some stuff we're probably going to have to look up at some point if we're
Yeah.
like, wait, what are you talking about? So that was the whole thing is that Lorelai that she was at the moon landing with her mom's whatever cousin person thing. Anyway, so that's why that was what it was.
Watching it on TV.
Yeah. So again, a good opening to an episode. Obviously, we have Emily back in the picture again. We're glad to have her back. And then we're back and Lorelai's cranky. Or no, who's cranky this morning? We come into the beginning of the episode. Lorelai's cranky. But Rory's like, did you have the bake sales today? Did you have it covered? And she's like, I've got it covered. And there's kind of a running joke for a few little minutes about, oh, what are you talking about? The bake sale? I didn't remember that. Oh, I got it covered. It's fine.
But I'm with Rory here. Lorelai has dropped the ball enough lately.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, and it's kind of a foreboding of what's to come later with Max and how that whole situation unfolds. And I have a lot of feelings about Lorelai later about this whole dumb. A plot's got a plot. We got to have some conflict, but it's. Sorry, we'll continue.
We all hate Max.
Yeah,
Mr. Medina.
I don't think. Well,
And I've joined. Agree with this.
Anyway, and then we open up the bedroom door.
Elaine's dancing, rocking out.
No, she's
Elaine's
skanking to Rancid.
My bad. Wrong terminology.
Yes.
So it's a specific kind of dancing, and I'm familiar with it because I grew up in that age.
And clearly I'm not, because I was a pop princess.
Yeah. So
Oh,
skank.
come on. I remember skanking.
I was not there.
Yeah, it was not a
I was
Vicki.
dancing to Britney Spears.
Yeah, Vicki was
That's what I was doing.
not a
And the Backstreet
skanking
Boys.
to Rancid person.
I know.
But I just love it how that's kind of like a nice, because again, Elaine's supposed to be this prim and proper Korean girl, and she's just Lorelai's like, why are you at school? She's like, well, where does your mom think you are? She thinks that I'm on a park bench thinking about my life choices or whatever.
No. The contemplating the reunification
yeah.
of two Koreas.
Yeah.
Which would obviously please her mother, because her mother is very obviously political and interested in those kinds of things, and wanting her daughter to be deeply, thoughtful and intellectual about these things.
Not skanking to Rancid.
And then we get the scene of, obviously, Babette is walking with what's her husband's name? Maury.
Maury.
Maury. Yeah, you're right. It's Maury. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're walking, and we get the more kind of foreboding, like, oh, Cinnamon's not walking good these days, and we're like,
They've got a little
and they got a little
stroller
with her private area where Cinnamon can kind of go and be quiet and be on her own. I guess this is the question for Silvana. We can swerve into writer's lane for just a moment, but how important is it for a show like this to have? Well, they're labeled townies. That's the official label that they're given. Yes. How important is it to have these quirky townies that we get to know over time? Why is it so important to fill your show with not just main characters and their story, but also these pieces and parts of the eccentric and odd parts of your community?
It adds depth, in my opinion. I think it adds a lot of realism, because even if they are just like townies, they still have their own plot lines and storylines and love lines going on. So it just adds a lot more depth to the story. If it was just Lorelai and Rory, it would be kind of boring. I mean, what's Gilmore Girls without like Suki or Kirk, who starts to kind of pop up more around? And I think Babette and Maury are just so, I mean, they're so random, but like they do move the plot alone in their own pivotal way. And frankly, like, what a pinnacle to what love is. I want a relationship like Babette and Maury. They're so cute. They take their passeggiatas, the Italian, for a nice walk. Like,
honestly, watching this movie,
add that depth.
Watching some of the way like she looks at Maury, the way she talks about him, even some of the way she hugs him, it was a little bit like looking in a mirror. Yeah. And I was like, what does Aaron think about this?
It's so cute. Yeah. It's so cute. I love that.
And it works for them. Like, that's their relationship. And like, obviously they're retired. They're not working anymore because they're definitely, but then they've got the Cinnamon. So
like he's their child.
Yeah. And so they've
literally.
But this is why I think Gilmore Girls works, and why we have a lot of shows in later in history now in the 2020s and more 2025s, where these side characters or these townies in their respective shows or even movies, they don't really matter. They don't have that depth where it's like, oh, we're going to get to learn about them, and they're going to enrich the depth, enrich the show, so that you're looking forward to, oh, when are we going to see Miss Patty next? Oh, when are we going to see Babette next? Because you're rooting for Lorelai and Rory and Luke, and you're rooting for Emily and Richard. Obviously, like they're the main characters here. But you're also like, ooh, I want to see how the other characters are going to interact with the storyline, and they're going to bring more to the story. I mean, the episodes are only 44 to 45 minutes. It's not a long time.
So much happens, though, because they have so many characters and so many people playing moving parts.
Well, and they're done. They're written well enough that you're interested, that you're invested. Like you're like, oh, I remember, Drella. I wonder where Drella is. Oh, she's not in this episode. Okay, hopefully she's in the next one. You start looking for those side characters, so you're not just waiting for Lorelai and Rory to be back on screen. You're waiting for the rest of them to come back. You're rooting for. Oh, there's when she runs into Patty, Miss Patty in the grocery store in this episode. You're just like, yes, Miss Patty's back. You get to see her again, and of course she doesn't disappoint. But
it adds so much depth to that scene because like without Miss Patty, it would have just been Rory wandering around the grocery store, pretending to not be looking at what's his face, Dean. With Miss Patty, it's got another layer of like humor and depth that just would have been missing without her.
Yeah, I get a kick. Okay, so then Dean shows up at, I think, on the bus, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so far we don't have a we will eventually get to Dean and his book sense, which will then quickly be abandoned later in the in the series of this season, to where Dean just becomes a big old wet noodle that nobody wants and nobody likes, and he just anyway. So what I like about Dean is he exposes Rory's imperfections and her weaknesses. I wrote that like Dean makes her nervous. It works, as uncomfortable as it is to watch Rory struggle with this, what she feels is an attractive young man, and is like, ooh, he's kind of cute, he's kind of hot, ooh, he's my first.
She has no idea how to talk to him.
Right,
which was me in high school.
Right, but it also works because Rory is, for the most part, put together, right? So she's mostly like she banters with her mom, she banters with Luke, she handles the rest of the community, she's effortless, she gets all A's at her old high school, she's getting better at Chilton, but it's not easy. And what I think about this is that we see Rory's imperfections with him, and so we understand that Rory is not our perfect character, that she has room to grow, and unfortunately they do her dirty in the new season. What is it, season 7 or season 8, whatever the new.
We better get. I'm gonna look that up.
The seasons reboot that happened on Netflix. I don't like what they do to Rory. I get it. Like, it's Amy Sherman Palladino had the goal of, this is where I want the story to end. But when you can't do it for 10 plus years, and then you try and write in your 4 last words with Rory, you leave people going, that would have worked 10 years ago.
I think it's technically season 8 is what's on Netflix.
Yeah, season 8. Yeah. Okay, because season 7 is the one where we just are not looking forward to.
Right.
So I just I love what we're doing with Rory right now, because again, we're getting her weaknesses. She's not perfect. And Silvana, you can kind of speak to this a little bit maybe, because a lot of what we see on television and films, especially in films, which it's starting to change, is this idea of these perfect female characters who are able to do everything. Part of, and this is where we're going to swing into Star Wars lane or Star Wars corner and then quickly get out, the issue that a lot of people had with Rey in The Force Awakens is that Rey was just perfect at everything. I just fixed the Millennium Falcon. I just did thing. And there's no work required. There's no learning required. She just does it, and it works. She's a fantastic pilot. She doesn't have any accidents. She's perfect at the wheel of the Millennium Falcon, and there's no reason for her to try to learn. She has no knowledge. Like, she just is perfection. And I think, again, I'm not saying men or women, I'm not specifying. I'm just saying I love it when characters have imperfections. And I guess we can swerve into writer's lane again a little bit. We're going to be in and out of that lane so bad that we're probably going to get pulled over by the metaphorical podcast police. How important is it for that? Like, to have those imperfect characters in TV and even so in film, but just imperfection. Why are those imperfections important?
Because that's how you relate, because no one in real life is perfect. Absolutely no one. There is no exception to that rule. Everybody's a little wonky. And it's boring when somebody's perfect.
Yeah.
It's boring. There's no conflict. There's just nothing. They're just amazing at everything. And frankly, that's, in my opinion, annoying. No one likes a know-it-all. So, like, having these like little insights to Rory being kind of like awkward, kind of shy, doesn't know how to speak sometimes when she's having a conversation with this boy that she likes. It just makes her more like a real fleshed out character. When they're too perfect, it's just boring. There's just nothing going on. There's no conflict.
Well, and that's a lot of like modern filmmaking, and a lot of modern television is that because we don't have, again, those 24 episodes anymore, we're down to 12 or 10. the ability for characters to grow and change or to be imperfect, and then for those imperfections to slowly but surely be teased out, it's very limited because you have to move quickly. And our today's writers don't seem like they're up to the task of telling complex characters who have to grow in an entire season, because it's just there's not enough time. And we've talked about this so much where we've beaten the dead horse, we've buried it, we've raised it again, Frankensteined it, and we'll probably dig it up again as we're doing. But there's just this sense of what we've lost in not just like TV and television and movies, but literature. Like I have not been reading a lot of modern literature, and there's been a lot of complaints about like people how characters are written now and how stories are written. We're not reading grown up stuff that is imperfections and growth and challenge and hurt and pain. It's less of that. So there's our soapbox for the episode. Probably multiple soapboxes to come. And then
listening to our TED Talk.
Yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for coming to our TED Talk. We'll be back on stage in 10 minutes. So then we get back to the Independence Inn, and my favorite character of all time, Michelle.
I was initially surprised at how much he didn't like his countrymen, but then I thought about it. I'm like, being from the South, and I'm like, if there was a case, some very heavily accented,
Yeah.
I could tell they've never left.
Right.
I might be a little annoyed with their
Well,
presence.
he says, I do not like my Frenchmen. Like, most of them are insufferable. So he's got this, like, hoity-toity, like, I know, I am. And he tells them...
Calling the kettle black is what he's doing.
Right. Well, and he's also like, I am from Texas. And they're... Lorelai's like, that you are not from small-town Texas.
Come here, Michelle.
Come here, Michelle.
We need to talk.
And she's like, are you giving me that look? And she absolutely is. And, he's like, I shall be French, but I will not be hippie. And then he goes over and they start talking like, and he just looks at her and says, kill me now. But
Which is a previous episode title.
Oh,
they
yeah.
did that on purpose.
Oh, yeah. Probably. The Paladinos are not above meta references. And then we go to Chilton, and we're given the reveal, which I love about this because we're not told until the moment happens.
I was like, please have roped in Suki. That's the only way you could save this.
Yep, it would have either been Luke or Suki, but Suki is definitely the higher end. So she gets in, and then I forgot about this, and I saw it, and I was like, what? Suki almost lights the...
But are any of us surprised that this happened?
Yep.
I was like,
that woman should never have anything flammable in her hand.
No candles.
Ever.
Nope.
No, bad
No
things.
candles, nothing.
Bad things. And then the other table has some lemonade, and she uses that to put out the fire, and then she awkwardly, because Lorelai is
and they
not...
just stare her down. There's no like, oh my gosh, I'm glad you put the fire out. They just look
Yeah,
at
they
her
really
like,
didn't make it easy on her.
No, they don't think they say anything. There's no dialogue. They just
no one else moved to
stare.
put out that fire except Lorelai.
Yep. So she's and then Max Medina, my least favorite. Out of all, I mean, I don't have any
unprofessional man.
So here's the thing. Like, I think when I watched this when I was quote unquote younger, I wasn't a teacher at the time, and even if I was a teacher at a larger high school, and it never in my mind. And again, we're talking about fiction. These are not real people. This is in the late 2000s, like 2000, 2001. This is a show that has been we're looking through the lens of 2025. But even in like the 2001s, I can't imagine this would go well or go down well at all. Like trying not even just being like, oh, she's kind of cute, like she seems attractive as a young woman or whatever. I'll just admire, and okay, I don't. That's not appropriate. That's not possible. I can't pursue this. It would break all the rules and all of the unwritten rules. No, I won't do it. But Max Medina doesn't do that. He pushes throughout this entire episode. It is, and I usually am like, whatever, it's characterization, but he's pushy to the point of like uncomfortable. Like, okay, Max, what is your deal? Like, what is going on here?
Well, and it's not even like a getting to know her, wooing her.
Yeah, he just wants to date her.
Just go out with me.
Yeah, just go out with me. I'm like, what?
What kills me is later. She's like, well, why should we? He goes, because we're so attracted to each other. And I was that was kind of my red meter moment. Because I was
Yeah.
like, just because you're attracted to somebody doesn't mean you should go out.
I guess, Silvana, what did you feel about the whole Max Medina? This whole he doesn't even have an arc. It's just a blob of blue in this whole episode where we're just like we don't really like him at all.
Well, it's funny because when I watched it when I was younger,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I would love for a partner to pursue me that way.
Right.
And like now that I'm an adult and my brain is done cooking and I have dated a lot of really awful people,
Right.
you're right. He's incredibly pushy. And that whole why do we date? Because we're attracted to each other is
Yeah.
so telling. It's like it's not because he thinks she's intelligent and funny and they have a good
Right.
rapport and she's interesting.
Yeah.
It's because there is attraction and yeah, sure, but you're willing to cross like a really professional boundary like
Yeah.
dating a student mom
Yeah.
because she's pretty. I don't know, it's
Yeah,
just
it's very surface level. He's very shallow.
so
He's
surface
very
level.
shallow
Yeah.
for an English teacher.
Yeah.
You know what
Yes.
I'm saying, Aaron? Like,
Yeah.
He's just such a gross man,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Well, and so here's the
Predictable.
thing is that I have a hard time, but again, it's 2001, 2000, whatever. I have a hard time imagining that there's not a policy at a private school with a headmaster like that we have, that there's not an actual teacher's code of conduct book that says this is inappropriate. If this occurs, you need to notify your headmaster of your intentions so that it can be discussed before you pursue, so that there's
Yeah.
no kinds of issues. Because if her daughter's in your class, then we need to move her daughter into another class so that you have no influence on her grades or her performance or any of the things related
yeah, like
to her.
conflict of interest has been a conversation in our town, in
Yeah.
our buildings.
Yeah, it's not a ooh fun. This is a fun. No, it's like this is inappropriate. And again, we're looking through a lens of 2025. We're all grown adults, and we just go, no, not acceptable. And Lorelai continually tells him, no, we're not. We shouldn't do this. This is bad. This is going to be a bad thing.
And he's not taking no for an
No.
answer, which is not, that's a red flag.
No.
Yeah, he just wears her
He
down.
bulldozes.
Yeah, well, and what's funny is obviously there's like spoiler alerts, of course, for every episode we do here. But we know what happens with Max Medina and Lorelai. The
Right.
relationship does not work out. She leaves him at the altar, I think, if I remember correctly.
No, they don't make it that far.
Oh,
But
don't
they
make it-
get close.
They get close, but they don't make it.
They
that
get close, but never make it to the wedding.
Yeah. So the way it ends is awkward because it's just. But I don't want to say that's the fault. The writers were like, okay, how do we get this done, and how do we make this over? Remembering the Gilmore guys' discussion about this arc and this kind of situation, it doesn't feel like they knew what they were doing with Max Medina. Like they got themselves into a corner and they're like, okay, well, we got to get him out because this is not working, and it's a passing fling. It doesn't really have any impact. Okay, we'll move it on. But I don't like him. Then what? He asks, how about coffee? Do you like coffee? And all of us are going, yes, she loves coffee. We are well aware of
Is
that.
the Pope Catholic?
Yeah. Well, and I think the fact that, again, to Vicki's point, he hasn't asked her any information about her story, who she is. He's just trying to get in. He's just trying to get coffee, trying to get.
I can't help comparing it to our love story and how we started going out. This is not how he pursues her is not how you pursued me.
Well, and I think it's not healthy to pursue somebody like this because when you're told no. Okay, let it go. And if, the next time you meet that person, maybe in a couple of weeks, and you go, hey, I just want to revisit. Are you still opposed? Do you want to try it out? And they say no, be like, okay, cool. You're right. I'll step away. I won't ask a question again. But in this case, because the plot's got a plot and we got to be awkward and all that, we have all of this. But what's interesting about Lorelai, she's equal parts intellectual and smart. But she's equal parts just dumb.
She's not smart when it comes to men.
No, she doesn't want it,
no.
but yet she does. And her ability to say no, while also understanding the consequences, are annoying. So the thing is that we're 5 episodes in, so we're not that far from how she got into Chilton in the first place because her mom and dad are paying for it.
Right.
So if this thing goes south or gets really messy or explodes in fashions that are Gilmore. Well, what happens when the headmaster finds out? And the headmaster says, I'm sorry, you violated an unspoken rule. There's no discussion here. Rory's out. And she will never be allowed back because We don't know if you were ever going to not get back together. You're doing it in secret. Like, we're done here. She's out back to public school with you, Rory. And then now she's going to go back to mom and dad and be like, well, all that money you spent, we're not getting it back because, well, they took the money and ran at Chilton because that's not how it went. That's how it works. Like, none of this is registering with her. And I get it. Plot's got a plot. We got to get through the stories. But Lorelai's ability to understand consequences beyond just her little like kind of like witty repertoire with this guy or anybody in her world is glaring, and it continues to be glaring throughout this entire series. I guess we can talk about 5 episodes in. How are we feeling about Lorelai?
I mean, I love her.
Yeah.
I will always love her. Part of that is just from like years of watching the show and just loving it. But like she the immaturity sometimes really irritates me.
Yeah.
The wishy-washy, like you said, she just won't say no. All she has to do is be like a hard no. And again, some men don't listen to a hard no. So he could have continued to go on. We don't know, because she just doesn't do that. There's no forethought. And I feel like that's something that really, once you're an adult, becomes more normal, like thinking more future, and she just doesn't do that. And it irritates me and confuses me at the same time.
Yeah. I think it's because like we're all adults and we're all just like, this is to act like this would be unacceptable for any of us. Like if we acted this way, people would be like, are you insane? On the Gilmore Guys podcast, they talk about how, as obviously this season and the next few seasons go, the townies and the town exists for Lorelai's just like pleasure. Like they just exist to make her happy. Like she can do all the stupid things, all the foolish things, and the town still forgives her and loves her and takes her in and encourages her. Like the town just fosters Lorelai's dysfunction. And I think that's
not how small towns are, especially if you don't grow up there.
Yeah. Well, and this is obviously a Connecticut show that's set in the on the back lot of the picture of the. It's not a WB lot. It's the WB back lot where all the houses are and stuff like that. So I don't know. Lorelai. We hope she grows up, but we also know where we're going, so it doesn't get any better. But it, again, you love her, but you also just kind of like quietly like judge her and just kind of like you're annoyed with her. You're like, this is not okay. And then we've got Lane and Rory, and they meet up with again Babette and Maury, and this plot
does not sound good.
So this line, as the show goes on, we learn more about Al's pancake world.
We've already established he doesn't smell good.
It doesn't smell good. But then they were like, Beth's like, oh, too many clams. And Rory's like, clams at Al's pancake world? What were you like? She's like, what? And I just, in the moment, I was like, no.
This is a conversation you and I have actually had.
Why would you?
We're foodies.
Why would you have clams at Al? No.
It's like, well, it's a coupon.
I love it.
Which I'm like, okay, I understand.
Part must be like, there was a reason, Babette. There was a coupon. They were trying to get you to probably empty out their clam stocks, which are probably not in date or labeled correctly. It was just. But Al's Pancake World continues to repeat throughout the series, and it's always funny when it happens. Okay, so another character that I don't like, Dean, is back in the picture. He's got a job at Dosey's, and
just like their local grocery store.
We haven't met Ducey or Dochi?
You just said Dochi. I hope that's correct.
Ducey. No, it's Ducey. It's Dosey. Yeah, Dosey. The spellings in this show are maddening. I'm going to mispronounce it, and I don't care. So
be gentle in the comments, or don't teach him a lesson.
Whatever. It's a podcast. Get over yourselves. It's fine. You're going to live. So Rory is like, oh, I'm going to go to the store. And Lane's like, oh, I'll come with you. She's like, no, I've, never mind. I'm not going to. She's like, okay, well, I'll go home. She's like, oh, she's like, why don't you go home? And he's like, my home? Do you not understand? Like,
Rory's brain is short-circuiting. She's too close to Dean.
Right. I made this note. I said, Dean has magical powers on her and Lane's relationship. And so Lane is just like, walks away and says, freak. And Rory's obsessed. Like, I love I love this because it gives us an impression that Rory is weak in this area. She doesn't have this figured out.
She's like a middle school girl.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
it's her first.
she's a kid.
She's the first boy, and again, he's cute to her and everything, and so she's kind of like picking up random items as she goes through the store.
And then what's her name?
Miss Patty.
And they're inappropriate
Miss
jokes.
Patty.
Yeah, Miss. And this 2000s, 2001. It probably she's like, again, we can't really say the word, but she's like, try a plum. It's better than beep. And it's just like, ma'am, this is a 16-year-old
my
child.
gosh.
What are you doing?
Would she recognize that? Are you too young for this? Definitely.
Yeah, the fact that she has to ask that question.
Honey,
You're
yes.
like, Patty.
Filter. Filter.
Patty has no filter, which we love her for, but I'm just
No.
like, oh boy.
Yes.
But she figures
She
it
was not meant
out.
to have a filter.
She figures it out because she sees Rory staring at Dean, and she's like, she says, he wouldn't fit in a basket. I'm like, Patty!
The way we wouldn't fit in the basket, would he?
And then Rory's like, I don't know him. And then, of course, Kirk.
Travis like, sure you don't.
Yeah, with Patty, she knows the truth.
Yeah.
Kirk shows up, and Kirk has a name tag. So he is officially named Kirk. Kirk is now officially named.
I'm very happy to see him.
Yeah, he is the new assistant manager,
Personally.
and he is he's kind of like he's like, well, like, you can't eat your food, you can't eat this food and not pay for it. But
So here's a little goof in the show. So
Yeah.
in later episodes, Kirk says he's lived in Stars Hollow his whole life, but in this episode, he doesn't understand who Miss Patty is. Doesn't make sense.
well, it also speaks to Kirk. So again, we're gonna, this is hyperbole, so forgive us for making these claims in the way that I'm gonna make them. Kirk probably is on the spectrum. But in a serious fashion, like, yeah, he's probably got some things that make it challenging for him to understand certain parts of things. Yeah, social cues. And so my guess is that Kirk, because of his number one position on the spectrum, but also number two, he has probably been an awkward kid for most of his life as it is, from people's perspective, right? And so he might actually not know about Miss Patty's
To be
situation
perfectly
in the
honest,
grocery
I
store.
was with Kurt here. I'm like, why is she eating produce?
Right. And so he doesn't know because he's been in Stars Hollow all his life, but he probably knows who Miss Patty is-ish, but he never went to her dance school. Obviously, it's a dance school for girls. Like, he never did that. So he's probably held out in another part of the Stars Hall community and really didn't engage with her. But in this scene, he's like, you can't do that. I will throw you out, blah, blah, blah. And then Rory gets to the line. She only has so much money, so she has to put some of the items back.
You get him a mousetrap and a head of lettuce.
Yeah.
I want to know more about the mousetrap personally. I'm like, mousetrap?
I don't know.
I think it was Dean's secret powers of she was not looking at what she was picking up.
Right.
She was looking at him.
Yeah, she was staring down the boy, and she got distracted. And so, yeah, she takes off. Later in the next couple episodes, I think, she actually steals something from the store because she gets distracted by Dean. Because she's like, I gotta run.
I think she feels really terrible if I remember.
Yeah, oh yeah,
right.
she's like, I'm a thief, I stolen. Coffee shop next. Okay, I love quipness. I love quippy. I love quippy back and forth. I love dialogue. I'm a big fan of The West Wing. I love Gilmore Girls and how it's very quippy, very conversationally. Here's the problem. I'm not watching this show for the first time. I don't like Max, and I don't like what we're doing here. So I just kind of was like, okay.
Yet he's not making any effort to really get to know her. He's just trying to be charming.
He even admits it.
Yeah.
She's asks him, "Are you just telling me what I want to hear?" And he says, "Yes." Like that's not
Red flag.
It's just
Red
so
flag.
insincere.
Yeah, I wrote this convo is so frustrating. And then he pulls out the uncle story, which I can't remember if this ever gets proved.
Also is BS.
Right.
And she called it from the beginning.
Well, he says if there's something in your gut you feel is right, you got to go after it. So I made the note. He really wears her down. He tries every possible gaslighting mechanism, and he eventually tells her what we probably think is a false story, because she says, "Is that story really true?" He's like, "Good day, good night, or good day."
Other red flag. He's
Good night.
lying.
Yeah, or he says, "Good day, Lorelai Gilmore." Here's the thing: he says goodbye the same way Dean says it to Rory in the bus, because he says,
Yes.
"See, good day, Lorelai Gilmore." And so we've got that parallel now of like,
I like the part where the guy sits in the middle of them.
yeah,
both.
And he just is like, what is happening?
I was like, you idiots! You should have sat next to each other.
Well, they're trying to be like, oh, I just ran into him at the store. And
Well,
okay.
and he just really doesn't care about Rory.
No.
Multiple times Lorelai is like, I don't know, that's my kid, she's my world,
Yeah.
this feels yicky.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh well, she's an adult, she's fine. She is 16. Lorelai has a good reason to still be worried.
Right.
Also, you have to be careful of the men you bring around your children.
Yep.
It's a safety thing.
Yeah.
So he just bulldozes
Yep.
through all of it,
No,
and will tell her anything
just to
she
try.
wants to hear to make it happen.
Yeah, even like his first scenes in this series, you just don't get a good sense. Obviously they probably wrote him in a way to portray him as like you're not gonna like him, and I mean it's a brilliant way to do it, but it doesn't make it less annoying because you're just like, why is Lorelai putting up with this? Is this going to teach her a lesson? Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Where she just figures out, oh, this is not a good man. I shouldn't be doing this. No, she doesn't learn anything from this. She just, eventually their relationship fizzles out and falls apart and whatever. And again,
I think part of it is viewing him through like the 2025 lens. Because like I said, when I was younger, I watched that and I was like, wow, I'd love for a partner to pursue me so diligently.
Right.
And now I'm like, oh dude, you're just coming off like a creep.
Right.
There's just a certain amount of social awareness we've gained since the 2000s. And he did not age well as a character.
No, he did not. Nobody likes him. Okay, so then Suki and Lorelai are at the diner, and Suki gets behind the counter.
I thought she was going to get something she was waiting on. No, she just takes over.
Yeah. Oh, would you like some garnish? Oh, you're gonna plots when you taste this. And Luke, what I love about it is Luke is like, what did I tell you about getting behind the counter? And it's like this is not the first time Suki has done this. She is a repeat offender.
Get out a spray bottle, and she deserves it.
He just yells at her. What I love about these two, so here's the thing. If we didn't have Lorelai and Luke as a probable future, that's the road we're going down, and if Jackson had never made appearances, and if the show had been a little bit different, I would have said put Suki and Luke together as a possible relationship to like foster something into, because she's a high-end cook, right? She's a French, whatever. He's just the diner cook, and he just makes greasy spoon food. Their relationship, because they do kind of complement each other in a lot of ways as the show goes, because Luke ends up taking over her kitchen later when the Independence Inn has issues.
There would be a lot of drama in that relationship.
But it would be drama that could be fostered and written.
I do like in this episode how you kind of see them like work through their differences.
Yeah. They figure it out, but it's also like you kind of want to see where that goes. Now, obviously, Lauren Graham as and the guy who plays Scott Peterson who plays Luke, their chemistry is undeniable. They're really good at what they do.
Oh yeah.
But if we had a different Gilmore Girls possible, I think the Luke and Suki story, that would have been fun to watch. And it would have been
hilarious.
It would have been hilarious, but it also could have been really touching because a lot of Suki's inadequacies or issues, and some of Luke's as we go through the show, could have been very interesting to watch that relationship either founder and then strengthen and then bond even more. Like that could have been a fun show to watch. So there's something for a future reboot or something, an alternative whatever you want to call it, an alternative Gilmore Girls show, Suki and Luke
spin-off if you will.
That'll never happen because we have all the canon of up to season 8. And then Cinnamon dies.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
The way Babette found out that Cinnamon was dead, though. Flying across the room and hitting a layup, and she still didn't move.
Oh, no. I laughed so much. I was like, oh, I've forgotten how loony this is sometimes. And then later in the show, Lane says, you didn't laugh? And Rory's like, no. She said, but did you find it funny? And Rory's like,
I know there are points that I was trying not to laugh and I couldn't help it at times. And I'm like, I feel bad because it's a fictional story, but I'm like, and I'm laughing. I shouldn't be, but I'm laughing.
Well, in the death scene
also, Rory is just so freaking sweet. Yeah. Rory, I'll never eat clams again. Me too.
Yeah.
Poor Maury. He's just like, it's my fault.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Clamps. She gave me the look.
yeah.
I'm like, oh no.
Oh, Maury. And then, but the scene with the doctor is almost played like a CSI scene, where like the
You can
cat's
tell she's trying not to
the
laugh.
body is covered, and they're all just standing around it, and it's like,
Man,
is this?
the clam did not kill the
Where's
cat.
where's the Law and Order music or the CSI music? Like, where's the sunglasses? The cat is dead. You know, like what's going on here?
This is just a really old cat. This
Well,
is not
she
the
says
Clams.
what Paul
260 years
she and
old.
human. I'm like, how old? Like, I don't even think they share
I
that.
know. I was like, what is it? Is like 15 years or something?
No, that would be more like 17 or 18. You can
Sometimes
calculate.
they live that long.
Cats do live really long. You can have a cat for like 20 years.
Jeez. Well, the cat was old. And
Yes.
then, of course, because the cat was beloved by the entire community, the wake is well attended. And Dean is back, and I didn't really care. I just blanked out when he showed up. I didn't really. Again, I know where Dean goes, and that's made my feelings about him different, because I'm just like, I can't watch this because I know I know where they take him, and I don't like it. Like, they don't write him well. They don't write him as a possible actual match for Rory. They start that out that way, but it's never done the way it should be. And then why is Mr. Medina here? Because Lorelai didn't tell her daughter that she was going on a
About
date
She
with
didn't
her
even tell him she
teacher.
couldn't go. She just blanked out on everything.
Oh.
Cinnamon just took
Okay,
over.
I made this note. I said Lorelai is the dumbest person alive. Tell your daughter stuff, and she's got to figure out her priorities. Like, this is just that moment where it's really hard to ignore Lorelai's, I don't know, stupidity is the best way to say it.
I still can't believe she also didn't tell Max, hey, we got something coming up.
Right.
She forgot to tell him.
For a cat funeral.
Yeah. Well, and so here's the thing. I know plot's got a plot, right? But it is an absolute betrayal that she didn't tell her daughter, because her daughter's like, why is Mr. Medina here? And she's like, well, because she had a conversation with Suki earlier. Oh, are you going to tell her? I'm working on it. Okay, well, work faster.
Like, I'm waiting for the perfect time. Like, oh, jeez.
Yeah.
The clock is ticking.
Yeah. It's just.
Well, and the only reason Rory doesn't have like an absolute fit, I mean, she gives her some, feedback for a minute. Sorry.
That's fine.
It slipped out. It's the first time in 5 episodes.
It's fine. I got
She she gives her some teenage lift,
Angst?
but
Yeah.
for the most part doesn't do a lot of it because she has Dean as her own like little secret.
Right.
I mean,
Oh, and
Honestly,
that
yeah.
becomes like a thing later.
I think you're right, because I was thinking about it. I was like,
I was too. I was like, they're both keeping this from each
yeah,
other.
and what's gonna and Rory, so like, and it frustrates Lorelai because she's trying to get Rory to like react or do something, and the fact that her daughter isn't is kind of like, what's going on?
Baffling.
But then she like Rory kind of covers it up and says, oh, well, if you could tire him out so that keep him out late, so on a Thursday when I have a test he's asleep through it, and she kind of smiles, and Lorelai goes, and it's like, Lorelai, you're missing the cues here. Your daughter's hiding something from you. For someone who claims to know your daughter really well, she's doing some stuff that you're probably like, she's got a secret, and you need to figure that out. But I was Suki and Luke again. We get some good conversation there. Kirk makes an apology to Miss Patty. I didn't realize that you were one of our most important customers.
I still say she should have paid for the fruit. I'm with Kirk on this.
Yeah.
I do love the bit between Lorelai and Babette. though,
Yeah.
when they're at the kitchen. That was so sweet.
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
so sweet.
It was one of those moments in Gilmore Girls where you just kind of sit back and you go, this is beautiful. They did an incredible job with this scene, because it speaks to loss, it speaks to grief, and it also speaks to Lorelai, who is in trouble with her daughter and isn't doing what she should be doing. But yeah, Babette talks about like, when a couple loses a child, she's like, I was watching Oprah, and
Honestly, I've heard it, and it's real.
yeah. So she's worried, like she's freaking out that Rory's going to leave her, and it's like, Rory would never leave you. Like, you guys are so together. It's not even, there's no question there. But just that conversation over dishes, like Lorelai says, hey, can I help you? Like first, I love
There's that little stool.
Yeah, I love.
Which shows the sweetness of their marriage.
Yeah, well, like there's a couple things. So I love how she's taking like the medication for Cinnamon is massive. That is a lot.
We'll talk about the fact that Babette's medication
is
was
mixed in.
So, story time. So, my mom, when our last dog was alive, Erin knows the story. She was giving medication to our dog, and she takes medication too. Well, there was a time she accidentally took the dog's medicine.
What was the dog's medicine?
I some kind of I don't remember exactly what it was, but I know she called her sister in a panic, and her sister started laughing like you did. She's like, "It's not funny." Then she called the vet, who was also laughing and was just like, "You'll just get really tired." And it happened to be a Sunday, so they go to church, and communion is happening. And to whispers to my dad, I took the dog's medication because she's starting to feel her vision blur. They make it home. She sits down in a chair. I think Mom slept for 12 hours straight or something.
That's hilarious. So I have a story like that. So when I was living with my best friend Shannon, we had a little dog named Stella. Stella and I take the same antidepressants. And so one time we accidentally switched. Luckily, the dosage was the same.
Oh, boy.
I didn't realize until I looked at the bottle that I had just taken medicine from and swallowed and realized that I had given Stella my dosage and I had given her.
That is exactly what happened to Mom.
Hers.
Like as soon as she did it, she was like, "What have I done?" And she said the dog was looking at her like, "Why are you taking my medicine?"
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wild.
Mm-hmm. Luckily, we're on the same antidepressant. Gotta love Prozac.
It worked out. What I love about the scene is she pulls out her. Oh, this is mine. And then
it's like, oh, Babette. Yeah. Has there ever been a time?
Right. So then we switch to and so Lorelai's like, what can I do? How can I help? Oh, let me help with the dishes. And again, there's moments of Lorelai where you go, there's a good person in there somewhere. There's a person who's an adult who knows how to help, who knows how to be what she needs to be for people.
Yeah.
When she's not losing her mind and being an immature toddler.
She's not good with men.
She's terrible. She's good with everybody else. Just men is her massive blind spot.
Which is like Rory,
honestly. Yeah, which is a parallel. And Rory doesn't get any better at this because every single boy she chooses from now to the end isn't any good for her. They're all terrible. And no, Team Jess doesn't exist to me. Jess is not a team. He's feelings.
He's better.
Okay, but I love Jess. I'll admit it. I'm Team Jess. He's still a crap boyfriend, but I still love him.
Right. But he was just saying he's the least worst of all of them. But that's
by
not
the last season.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm okay with this now.
Yeah. But it takes him that long to get there.
Sometimes it takes people a long time.
But
she doesn't.
Rory doesn't go back to him. She's not.
In my headcanon, eventually he wins her over.
The very
after
end.
season 8.
Yeah. Why not?
He comes back. Okay, well,
when
spoiler
she's
alert.
Pregnant with somebody's baby.
Yeah,
Luke comes around. Why not Jess?
Jess comes back and he's like, "Hey, I'll be a dad. I'll be here." Yeah, okay, sure. We'll do some headcanon revisions to the whole situation.
Why can't I have my headcanon?
Yeah, we'll do that. Jess comes back and not saves Rory, but supports her and then eventually marries her and Ray helps raise the kid.
Sure, why not?
Good talk. Okay, but I just love
ever after.
Yes.
I love the dishes scene just because it's touching. Like it's legitimately one of those moments where you're like, this is real characterization and acting happening, and these two characters are living on screen, and they're doing a great job. I love it. And then Cinnamon Song comes up, and everyone kind of gathers and
they move so that Babette can sit by Maury and plays the piano. So cute.
And then Dean
and Rory.
Dean. So he's like, sorry for bugging you. I'm not gonna bother you anymore. I guess you just didn't like
but
me.
He's like saying, yeah, you're right. He's saying it that tone.
I don't know.
He's just kind of like.
That's a phenomenal Dean impression.
I don't like. He's a wet noodle. Like he's just like, oh, I just don't know. Like. Jared Padalecki's a fantastic actor. He goes on to make Supernatural and do an incredible job. And even more, he's done more work since then. But yeah, his voice here is, oh, sorry for bugging you. And he's trying
You know what? he had to be a crappy dean so that he could be a really good Sam.
Yeah, that's true. He did.
Well said.
He had to walk
There's that
before he
clapping.
could walk. He had to toddle along like a man boy dean. So basically, he gaslights her. He's like, "Oh, I'm not going to bother
Yeah.
you anymore." And he walks away, and he almost gets away. And then Rory, of course, because she's hot for Dean, I am interested. And he's like, "Oh, okay."
He's like, okay, bye.
Goodbye.
Just runs off.
And just runs off. I'm like, oh. Again, if it was anybody but Dean, I'd be like, yeah, cool, this is interesting development. But it's like, Dean, no, this is going to be a terrible journey. I'm going to hate every step of it.
Such haters.
I do. I am not a fan of Dean. I just, again, it's a feeling. She deserves better. But again, plot's got a
Yes.
plot. Lorelai is trying to explain to Rory now that she's caught up with her. And I made a note. I said, Lorelai doesn't know how to tell things. There's a lack of understanding. There's also a lack of truth because she asks her, well, what about this? And she's like, oh, no, that's not going to happen. She's like, what? And she's like, well, okay, yeah, maybe it's going to happen. She can't even tell her daughter the truth when she's confronted with it.
Right.
And it's like, what? Lorelai. Okay, so I know I've hated a lot on Lorelai, and it's probably not going to stop for the entire series.
Can we rewind?
Sure.
Let's talk about Luke and Suki at the wake.
Okay.
The way they present food.
Battle of the chefs.
We have Suki who's like got a plan. It's like, okay, this could go here. This could go here. We have a whole, which is kind
Right.
of honestly how I think. And then Luke just plops it down. All right, everybody help yourself.
I do love how she does
And they're
say,
arguing over meatloaf.
right. She's like, oh, well, this could be a good compliment. And he goes, no, whatever. He's like, okay, put a little on. So he does, again, it's that
they finally meet in the middle.
I would love to see that relationship continue to grow in a side universe of like where they do like, they have to think about it. Like, think about the scenes in their own kitchen if they're dating. Like, Luke goes to Suki's kitchen and it's all tricked out and special and shiny. And then Suki goes to his kitchen, which is above the cafe. And she's just like, what is this mess? And it would be madcap. It'd be like Lucy and Ricky, but in the modern day.
Honestly,
and
kind of
it'd be
reminds me of the
brilliant.
teacher world. There's like a type A and type B
Yes.
teachers.
Yes.
They talk about this on like, you see this on Facebook Reels and
Yeah.
places where like there's the perfect classroom that has like the whole decor and everything's
Yeah.
coordinated. And then there's us type B teachers, I'm pointing to myself here,
Yeah.
who are like, we have the stuff we need on the wall,
Yeah.
but there might be some stuff shoved into a basket.
Yeah.
We have to dig through and find what we need.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yep. So there you go. So she says, listen, I'm sorry. I really like him. And in my head, I just go,
Gross.
oh,
Why?
because he's pretty.
Exactly. It's it.
Yeah.
Because he's got a nice jawline, like Babette said.
Yeah, because Babette's like, hey, he's kind of cute. And it's just like, oh.
Look at this Mustang. Did
for-
you see him leave
you
that
know,
Mustang?
yeah, that hot thing in that Mustang. I'm like, okay. All right, Babette.
Okay, so it's his car too.
Yeah, it's car too. You gotta love a car. And she says, I won't keep things from you again, which is sort of true, but not really, because the rest of the series
Don't make promises you can't keep.
yeah, they're gonna hide stuff from each other, and it's just gonna continue. But then we get the return from the beginning of the show. We have to have some closure. Emily Gilmore calls, and she's like, "I've been trying to
Rory's
reach."
trying to help.
Yeah, I'm trying to reach you all afternoon. Where have you been? And she's like, "Didn't you leave a message?" And she's like, "I don't leave messages."
If I want to talk to a machine, what does she say?
Talk to my VCR.
Which is so nonsensical, but it makes
Yeah.
sense because she probably argues with her VCR when she's watching. She probably watches movies. It makes
Do
me
we explain to the masses what a VCR is?
Yeah,
You probably should.
They don't. That's right. In 2025, there's not a lot of VCRs out there.
I don't even remember what it stands for.
Oh.
Video cassette recorder.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah, VCR was the days of Blockbuster. In Denver, it was Famous Video, was the local video store, and other smaller mom and pop shops. But yeah, you would go to a video store and you would rent a video or a movie or multiples, and you'd have to rewind it when you brought it back. Otherwise, you might get a fine from Blockbuster or whoever. So Be Kind Rewind was a thing.
It was so annoying to get a tape and be like, I have to rewind it first.
Rewind it first.
It could take a good 5 minutes.
Yeah, good. And then there was also like you could record you could use your VCR to record TV. You could actually
Which is
record.
how I got through Buffy in high school.
Yep. And then you can also you can use in older model cameras, video cameras, you would put in the cassette and and record your footage on that. And eventually miniaturization took over, and the cassette got smaller and all that kind of, and then we got DVDs, and here we are. And now we don't, we have DVDs, but we more have cloud functioning, cloud content where you can buy it on Amazon or buy.
Now everything's digital.
Now everything's digital, which there's a lot of arguments that are solidifying about buying.
And I'm kind of on that team.
Buying physical media.
Because we've tried to find stuff digitally before and not be able to find it anywhere, including Amazon.
Yeah. There's a lot of licensing that ties up and stuff, and it gets really frustrating. So and then so Emily Gilmore calls, and she's up. She finds out
you went to a cat's funeral instead of your own cousin.
She's like, what? I just
Roy's like, I tried to tell you. I can't keep track of what I should say and shouldn't. Come on.
Well, she says,
Lorelai.
I don't know what to tell and what to hide.
Yes.
And I think that's again like the key there for Lorelai. She doesn't know how to and again her relationship with her mother is so fraught with both guilt, but also like, I've not been honest with my mom. I don't want to have to be honest with my mom. And how do I even try and repair this relationship? I feel, and Lorelai I don't think she feels like the relationship with her grandparents or her parents is repairable, because she doesn't attempt it. She just wisecracks her way through dinner or whatever. She's there for Rory to get her tuition paid. That's the only reason why she goes to Friday night dinners. Yeah. The relationship changes as the series and the season goes on. And spoiler alert, in season 8, Edward Herman, the actor, passed away rather like in the last 10 years or so. And he obviously unavailable to play. And so what they did is they had to write in his character's death into the 4-episode reboot of Gilmore Girls. And Kelly Bishop plays a grieving widow to perfection. But it's interesting that we look at the character now and what will happen with her and Richard's relationship through the seasons. Mm-hmm. And when they get to season 8, it's well written. There's just certain episodes where you're just like, holy mother of pearl, do we have to do this again? Okay, fine. And we do it. And there you go. There's the episode. Lorelai is poking, but Rory accepts this super fast. And I had forgotten again that she's accepting it because she's hiding her attraction to Dean and the possibility that she probably will be going on a date with Dean, and all that good stuff. So,
not ready for her mom to know.
Yeah, what fun this Gilmore world is. Okay, so rating the episode. I'll let you guys go first, because I need to contemplate how I feel about this episode.
I'm going to say 7 out of 10 passagiatas.
What?
The walks. The talk that Maury says, oh, we're on a passagiata, whatever. And but it's like, oh, say it again. Say it again.
It's Italian for a walk.
I can't do it on command, babe. It's fantastic. So 7 out of 10. Okay. Vicki?
8 out of 10 plums.
8 out of 10 plums. Here's the thing. If this had been the first run, I'd watched it the first time, probably like a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. But here's the thing. Now that I know where Max is going, I know where this relationship's going, I know where Dean is going, and I think I'm more unhappy with the Max dynamics in this episode, just because
you're an English teacher.
Yeah,
you're a high school English teacher.
Yeah, and it's just
personally offensive.
It's not even. I wouldn't even say offensive. It's just annoying and distressing, because it's just like, we know this can't work. Like we at a base level, we know this isn't going to work out.
Right. Because
at some point, Lorelai or Medina is going to mess it up. Mm-hmm. Because it can't. It's not tenable. It's not. Oh well, we'll just keep it on the down low. We'll keep it. We'll do it. We won't have the dates.
Discreet.
We'll do discreet. Yeah. Good luck between Hartford and Stars Hollow being discreet with your high position and your visibility. Like, this isn't going to work. So I'm going to give it 6 out of 10 dead cinnamons.
Dead cinnamons.
6 out of 10.
Take it back.
Dead cats.
6 out of 10 dead cats.
Oh my god,
Such a guy.
That's a good one.
I mean, I would be like 5.5 if I was being really mean, but I'm gonna give it 6 out of 10. That's a D. That's a 60%. That's barely passing in most classes in the world today.
Fair. I think we all just hate Mr. Medina
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
much that
yeah.
it just squishes the episode a little bit.
Yeah, it does. Because there's really good stuff. Like there's the Emily arc from beginning of the episode where we get
Yep.
kind of the tease, and then she comes back in the end. Like that's brilliant. And it also exposes Lorelai, like, yeah, you're a bit of a hypocrite. Oh, I can't get away from the Independence Inn. I can't attend this funeral. And then
I
it's
made it
like,
for a cat's funeral.
right? You went to a
Yep.
you went to a cat.
I'm with Emily here.
Yeah. So Emily has every right to be upset.
And that joke at the beginning of the episode was amazing.
Now that's a joke.
Well, and she does one
applauded her.
final one. She's like, well, I have a busy day at the inn tomorrow. And Emily's like, what, do you have a raccoon's wedding? Like, she bookends it so well.
Yes.
I love it.
Well done.
I had forgotten
Well
about that. Again, Emily is here's the thing. So, but here I didn't think about this until now. Both Emily and Lorelai are quippy. They are good at witty repertoire. Like they can do it. And I think Lorelai gets that from her mom. Like obviously Richard he's thoughtful, but he's not as like conversational and witty like his wife is. And so Lorelai is definitely Emily Gilmore's daughter because they both
100%.
will eviscerate their opposition with commentary and wordplay. And I think it's kind of fun. I think we get kind of, I mean, obviously Emily uses it for harm in some cases where, Lorelai is trying to use it as a defense mechanism to just feel comfortable and get out of there alive without having to go crazy. So yeah, there we go. Well, there's your episode, Cinnamon's Wake. Another one down. We will pick up the next episode later on. Until next time, this has been the Gilmore Geeks. My name is Aaron.
My name is Vicki.
Silvana. One day I'm just going to say my name super deadpan and scare the crap out of all y'all.
Do it on Halloween.
Woo! You got
Deal.
10 months
Yes.
to 10 months to plan it. All right. Thanks for listening. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.
The raspberry flapovers will be out in a moment. The kitchen is closed.